Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Emerald match here in United Rogue Overwatch. I am Dasupkan, joined by a Zach, who I think you're kind of watching this match, kind of excited to see how some of these teams pan out, as we're going to see Ottawa going against Atlanta, who have to win this match in order to make it into playoffs.
Exactly, Soup Can. I'm excited to see this match. Knock, all credit to them. I'm sure I had a little internet issues, which are unfortunate, but Knock did the job. They won against Dallas, and now if Atlanta wants to secure their spot in playoffs, they need to beat Ottawa. There's one problem. The only team that's beaten Ottawa. Yeah, the only team that's beaten Ottawa this season has been Dallas. And even then, that came down to a 5-map slugfest. So I'm excited to see what we got going tonight. Oh. Doge starting on the Zarya. Chris running out with the Malga.
Alright, here we go.
Coming into the match. And we got Ottawa taking point first with the help of the Lucio speed to get the Malga into position. And Doge burned one bubble, and Frosty quickly picks cool individual. Well, Atlanta down 4v5. Ottawa put it on pressure, point unlocks. Chris with the cardiac overdrive to keep his team alive. And Ottawa takes point. Creep goes down to Frosty. Light trades for Chris, but can Atlanta turn it? Going back. And yeah, with tank from Ottawa going down, Atlanta turns it. 14% for Ottawa off of one initial pick, but Atlanta now up on the board into position, and with the hammer kill onto Laggy. You'll love to see the Torb content coming in. Atlanta on point, jockeying. Cool off of the Torb, back onto their signature pick of the Hanzo. And hook in from Chris, gets the tank, forces Doge out of position, burn a little bit of a bubble. Doge still survives. Coming in, one bubble out for Doge. Suzu out for Atlanta on point, and Ottawa's just pushing in. They're chilling. And Frosty gets the quick pick onto the Creep. Chris finds Light, and Ottawa back into this fight and back in with the point. Coalescence to help clean them all up, and gets some exit picks. Nice hook from Chris to get cool.
Let's go.
And Ottawa back on the point.
Honestly, I'm kind of, first off, Discord sucks. It crashed. But I'm surprised Atlanta was able to hold on for that for so long. Watching how some of those fights went, it seemed like it was going into Ottawa's favor time after time. But just the delay coming into the point and a quick pickoff before the start even starts, that's going to hurt Atlanta, as now Ottawa has tied things up.
Exactly. Yeah, quick pick. Laggy quickly gets Light from the high ground, and Ottawa setting up with Biscuit and Kamani. He's scouting. Atlanta pushing low ground. Coming up.
I would like to look at the ult economy, though. If you look at Atlanta, here's a rush. I like this, starting out early. Yeah. Maybe a defensive high noon?
Yeah.
Hold on?
Yeah. Lights high noon forces Ottawa to forces Atlanta, to
three-man grab. B gets him late. The Dragon still is able. We are seeing Atlanta drop all their ults, though. That is going to be unfortunate.
Little expensive. A little expensive if you're Atlanta, but you get point back. That's kind of what matters. 2-fight territory for Atlanta. About 1 fight left for Ottawa if they retake point quickly.
Now, we will see Frosty go over to the Tracer, but we also see in that ult economy we're talking about, it's only Molten Core and Whole Hog, not necessarily game-winning, fight-winning ultimates. So we're going to have to see Ottawa get a little crafty here on how they want to approach this.
Chris around behind, one throws the hook, costs Doge's bubble, but using the Whole Hog to push him off point.
It's a trade, a tank down.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still trading out. Both teams are down on support, but it seems like Ottawa in the chaos is still going to be able to cap it.
Exactly. Even though it got chaotic, even though even though it got chaotic, even though the fight broke down 3v3, 3v2, Ottawa critically capping point in there in order to start taking percentage up. We are now in one fight territory, and Atlanta does not have a Lucio player.
Have a touch?
It's gotta be light. Yeah, it's gotta be light or tank doggo.
Able to get one touch.
Yep. Suzu out early.
Of Ottawa dropping low, but so is Tank. Atlanta's down a Kiriko.
Yeah.
Oh, please, somebody go kill the hog before it can catch a breather. No.
Oh, Kamani's back. Kamani's back in. Doge, unfortunately, a little low on the energy. Not the whipping around with a pool noodle. Not necessarily something big and threatening that the high energy Zarya comes in. And Ottawa, sorry, back capping in that chaotic fight wins round 1.
Now in those fights, you know, credit to Atlanta. I think they had it to where they held a fair amount of percentage just off of their chaos that they kind of invoked from these fights. Atlanta is a team that we've seen really only one look from. You know, they've been able to do it fairly well, decent success so far throughout the season. But as Ottawa starts having some of these changes, like there it is, the Frosty Farah, I wonder how Atlanta's going to have to deal with this.
You are looking at light to start poking and putting pressure on the Farah, or maybe we've seen it earlier from Doge in the season, but Doge going over to a diva to respond. But we're going into Sanctum. There's one pit in the middle, and Chris looking for hooks off the side. Chris playing towards point side. Atlanta playing towards the right, playing towards the stair side. Trying to jockey for positioning. I like Atlanta's positioning a little more for the neutral fight, but Ottawa with firm control of the point and capping up, they will get first percentage. Torb tool. We got a Torb tool. And Laggy again winning the
Laggy
Torb tool.
wins out the Torb duel. Having said that, Laggy's team kind of getting a little low on the point. Atlanta, with that high-powered Zarya, is starting to do a little bit of damage, but I don't think they'll be able to keep him alive. Those will go down.
Yeah. High energy Zarya, a third source of damage, third DPS on the field, but critically, Ottawa forces the pick on the Zarya, makes Doge reset his energy going into this next fight. And Ottawa, after winning that Torb 1v1, after winning the point, now stuffing the choke, forcing Atlanta to come poke in, poke out, and break through.
And see, this is where, you know, we see some of this resilience to change compositions come in. I think that what they're running, yes, puts a lot of pressure onto that front line, but Atlanta's just not doing enough. A great hook from Chris brings in Doge, dropping him low, but they use the Suzu, they use the bubbles.
Yeah.
Like it's one.
Yeah, light picks Laggy, huge pick for Atlanta. And we have a high energy Zarya on point. You can't go and fight that. Biscuit looking for the boop, Biscuit looking for the boop. Aww. Maybe without the tank passive. Yeah, without the tank passive, Biscuit probably gets that boop. But unfortunately for Biscuit, Doge does stay alive, and Atlanta flips point.
But that being said, Frosty before dying gets 2. This is gonna be a quick flip back over for Ottawa as the rest of them come in, commit the ult.
Yeah, huge
grab committed.
Yeah, huge grab from Doge in order to kind of force Ottawa, to part with some more ultimates there, but Atlanta does eventually fall, and Ottawa back in control of the point. One fight territory, and Doge off of the Zarya onto the Diva.
I don't know if it's going to be enough. If only 15%'s left, like you said, there's going to be one fight. You'll have Rush, you'll have Visor, but you'll be walking into a barrage beat.
Yeah.
That's a combination that's scary, because you just keep the far alive while they pump all the damage into you. Hook goes wide, here comes out the Rush. Light's already down, there's no Visor.
Oh, there's no Visor, but they do quickly trade for Biscuit, who does have the beat. No beat for Ottawa in the fight. Frosty out with the barrage, gets Tank Doggo, and Ottawa looks like they are going to be winning this series 2-0.
A quick map 1 going in the way of Ottawa. And if you're New Orleans, you're starting to calm down a little bit. You know, maybe Atlanta calms out, but New Orleans one step closer to getting in, and Atlanta one step closer to falling out of these playoffs.
Yeah. And we're just watching Cool clean up with the Hanzo. A nice grab dragon combo, maybe a little late, but the pickups afterwards.
But that's one of those things that where, you look at Atlanta and they, so far this year, have been really successful at comboing their ults, but really unsuccessful at the fights leading up to it.
Yeah.
When they finally get those combos off, they're normally pretty successful. It's very hard for teams to avoid out a Flux Dragon or a Grab Dragon or maybe even the Rush Visor when they can pull that out. But when it comes down to it, it takes them 2, 3, sometimes even 4 or 5 fights to press Q, to pull out that ultimate. It takes them some of these, extended fights where, we get no poke damage coming in or one of us gets picked off, and all of a sudden you're just sitting there wasting time off the clock. I would love to see Atlanta get a little bit more proactive with some of these team fights and with some of those ultimates.
Exactly. That was the one when we played Atlanta twice, that was the one thing we did definitely notice. Atlanta were very hesitant to use ults unless it was for pre-planned combos. And that's great when you can land them, but when you don't have the space, when you don't have the ideal opportune times in order to just get it in, it seems like it's a breakdown in communication of at some point you just got to throw it when your pre-planned strategy doesn't work out.
Right, have that, have the gall of just like, hey, you know what, we win this. Let's say winnable, let's commit, don't overcommit, obviously, but you want to try every now and then. You have some great players on this roster. Doge on the tank is phenomenal. We've seen what Cool can do on the Hanzo. The supports understand how to use their ults effectively. Just pop one. Just get in and see what you can find with it. Hopefully, as we enter map 2, which is going to be Midtown, a classic pick coming out from Atlanta. Hopefully, we'll be able to see a little bit more of that aggression, a little bit more of that proactiveness. But I don't think we'll see it, as Atlanta tends to play this map pretty slow.
Atlanta tends to play this map pretty slow, but more importantly, this map feels like a comfort pick for Atlanta. You get to put Doge on the Sigma, you get to put Cool on the Hanzo. You let Tank Doggo and Creep play a double Flux support lineup, something that they've proven that they are more comfortable on this season than trying to run a Lucio that we see from Biscuit on Ottawa, or you see Log run on Dallas, or myself when we put Log in on the ball.
We run the ball dive, the classic ball dive.
We do. It's some of the fun strategies from the Dallas team. Interestingly, Doge on the Sigma.
We're gonna see the Lamborghini Mercy.
Yeah, we got the Lamborghini Mercy.
We're in there with the Lamborghini Mercy.
All right, let's go.
But we are gonna see more of a kind of rush brawl type of comp coming out from Ottawa. We're gonna have to see if Atlanta can get enough of these picks coming in to make it worth it. But map 2, Midtown underway, as Atlanta is looking for a great hold here.
Exactly, and Cool quickly picks up Frosty with the Storm Arrows. Thank you, Mercy, for the blue beam, and that's one fight. That's another 30 seconds off the clock for Atlanta and for Ottawa, sorry, and they have to just hold back. Frosty off of the Ash.
Quick change over, yeah. Here comes the Tracer.
Yeah.
But Doge finds Biscuit. Wow, another great pick before the fight even begins.
Yeah, they're just. This is Atlanta's comp. This is what I like to see out of them. We say cool, find shots. We say light, find shots, find those picks, and we set up play very poke, very defensive heavy. This is where Atlanta has looked their strongest, especially on Midtown. And quickly, Cool finds another pick onto Chris. Now you're down your tank. A minute's off the clock.
This is what we need to see. Wow, another pick from Cool. But this is what we need to see coming out from Ottawa. They are sitting here letting these projectiles just fly at them. Why are you still in this? Disengage, hide around the corner, wait to fully regroup instead of being a 4-man roster, losing one, and then being back to 4-man. Now on the Ramatra, hopefully they can use this speed boost to their advantage and play a lot more aggro as they're swinging wide, which I always love on Midtown.
But Cool quickly reads this, throws the zoning dragon in. Yes, huge anti from Creep, and Doge with the follow-up, punishing Atlanta for that Ottawa, sorry, for that rotation. And the late stagger onto the Lucio. You love to see it if you're Atlanta. You don't maybe like to see it if you're Knock.
You know, it's not always
Now we will see more swaps. Laggy going over to the comfort pick of his own, of the Genji. Frosty over to the Soj, which I've seen a couple times. Kind of clean. Here we see another engagement coming out from Ottawa. They're going to look to take out Cool.
Yep.
They managed to find him.
Yep.
A Flux only able to
picks
get
up
the
Chris.
tank, but the rest of Ottawa going to town.
Yeah. This is essentially what you want to do if you're Ottawa. You play the Lucio, you play the Ramatra, you look at Atlanta's comp and you say, okay, if I get on top of Cool, if I get on top of Doge, I overwhelm them, I get the pick onto them, they suddenly fall apart. They can't function. What Atlanta wants to do is they want to play with space, they want to get those picks. Ottawa, in order to counter it, finally found the answer. Use the Lucio speed, rotate on top of a target, call one target, everyone focus them down, and win the fight from there.
Atlanta really needs to look to slow this game down in order to get it back towards their favor, because Ottawa really just picking up the tempo and playing this new comp. They are forcing. Look, Atlanta has control of the high ground, but they're backing away because one Genji has walked towards them.
And granted, that Genji is the laggy puppy Genji, which you give some respect to in Emerald. Chris quickly picks up Creep and gets Tank Doggo as well.
Is wild.
Dragon's wild, but unfortunately, Tank Doggo commits the Valkyrie into that. You maybe want that back if you're Atlanta.
You definitely want both those ults back. Dragon went like way behind the cart. Cart was basically underneath that bridge already, and Dragon was basically aiming right back at A. I'm not entirely sure if they thought they could split somebody, but Cool probably wishing that ultimate was coming back, as now Atlanta needs to try to stall this out before...
Yeah.
There it is.
Yep.
There's the Ram ult.
Ram ult comes out. A little bit of an overclock. Okay. Let's just... All the Qs.
Well,
all of
everybody's
our Qs
clicking Q now.
all the Qs onto the board. But... Ottawa caps second, pushing into third. Creep off of the Ana onto the Moira, and Tank Doggo off of the Mercy onto the Kiriko. And Doge
Now
also...
we're looking back to how things normally look for Atlanta with Doge on the Ramatra.
Yeah, I like the match of the Ram for Ram. There's one problem that I'm sure you've heard me cover in other casts. I know I've said it in the Dallas games whenever we played. If Atlanta wants to match the Rush, we're trying to play Rush without a Lucio. Creep and Tank Doggo, not really comfortable, not willing, I'm not sure, but neither of them picking up the Lucio. Biscuit has the Lucio.
It is a good, clean trade from both the DPS. Cool down, and so is Laggy. So it's up to Light and Frost. Light still has not used Visor. Maybe honestly use Visor to pull out Beat. We haven't seen Visor get a whole lot. Maybe just use it to pull out some of the other ultimates coming out from Ottawa as they're banking up towards more.
Exactly. Biscuit probably holding on to Beat, expecting the Visor to come out, and we're playing a game of chicken, but Frosty quickly picks Tank Doggo. Atlanta are down. Moral. One Coalescence comes out.
Another Dragon that does not find the value it needs.
Yeah.
Creepy finds one. Maybe if Creepy can get out. Oh, okay. Tank had an unfortunate TP there.
Yeah, but she is able to get out, and her team's coming back to save her. You like that pick onto Laggy, and you like the fact that you survived. Light popping the Visor. What can he get done with it? Biscuit with
There's pulled out Beat.
Yep.
But we're about to see. There's the rush. We're gonna see a dueling Ramatra ult. Probably would be my guess. I don't think Chris wants to give this up just yet.
No, I don't. Not yet. But and now Ottawa disengaged from the rush, and they pull out two ultimates in response.
Oh, Cole gets cut short.
Yeah, can Light get on? Light on the Bastion. What can he? Can't do much. And Ottawa finish Midtown with 1:38 on the clock.
I mean, Atlanta's first hold on point A was great. Finding pick after pick. but that was mainly just due to Ottawa not being able to disengage properly. They just kept trying to poke out and get a fight or two. Then when Ottawa's like, hey, listen, we've spent 2 minutes doing nothing. Let's get serious. We saw the raw power of this team. Laggy's going in, causing so much like chaos in the back to where everyone gets distracted. That allows the rest of Ottawa, especially Chris, all in that Ramacha, to just press the W key and start finding picks of their own. Where as those team fights like started, they were finished.
Yeah, critically, by the time Ottawa finally got their act together, finally got the comm structure down, and rotated cleanly with the Lucio, we saw at the very end of that last map, Tank Doggo throws out the Kitsune Rush, and what does Ottawa do? They disengage. They say no more. We'll wait for that. We'll wait for that ult to go away. We'll wait for you to get your value. Sure, you were also down light after, you're down light, so you're a little desperate. But as soon as Ottawa was ready, they pushed the W key, come in with Frosty and Chris's ults, and won that map out. And now
hopefully we'll see something better from Atlanta as they're gonna look to attack now.
Yeah, and this is where I'm a little nervous if I'm Atlanta. What you're essentially doing is you're putting your eggs into the cool and light basket and say, go find picks.
Don't know how much I like their composition. I think that it's got fairly decent pick potential, but when you just get run down as a fragile Zarya, it's not going to help with much.
Exactly. Atlanta trying to just push right through the choke, but Ravenous Vortex down from Chris, and then Frosty lines up a headshot, picks the Zarya immediately, resets her energy, and now that's 1 minute gone, 3 minutes to go. What can you get done if you're Atlanta?
If you're Atlanta, you make Tank go back over to the Kiri. We're seeing a little bit more of a standard. With the Bastion addition, maybe able to put a little bit more pressure up into that Pharah. But I think Doge on the Zarya might not be working out as well. I would honestly switch to an Orisa. Just start running something a little bit more brawly and just kind of run in and try to bully that Ramacha a little bit more. As Ramacha goes down, Cool able to find that headshot, Ottawa gonna have to back off.
Yep.
Or are they? Light goes down.
Frosty does trade quickly for Light, but Atlanta, they have the tank. They are able to push in, go to point, and that's...
But that tank goes down. There's so much damage being put onto Doge as his supports were kind of off in La La Land.
Yeah, Doge's high energy. He's pushing in, trying to take advantage of the pick, and support not there. So Ottawa quickly able to come in and collapse. If I'm Doge, I do agree. Like, the Zarya is nice when you can get the energy, and they're probably building up for a Grav Dragon. Although, at this rate, Cool might just have a Dragon first that he can throw a zoning for by the time Doge gets his grab up. I want to see the Diva. You mentioned the Orisa, and that gives you a little bit more brawl power. I want to see the Diva to put some pressure on the laggy puppy Pharah. And we know it's in his pool, but quickly, Pool responds, another pick onto Frosty.
But we saw how this song and dance goes once. We'll have to see how it goes again. As Ottawa not really looking to back away here.
Yeah.
Zoning Dragon beat both were probably unnecessary.
Yeah.
Ooh, a trade out from the teams. Biscuit looking low, dropping dangerously so. No other ults looking to be committed, it seems.
Oh no!
Oh, a second time.
Second time Creep goes down using the Coalescence. You want that back, but nice shot from Frosty with the overclock. Maybe a little expensive if I'm looking at Ottawa's side. Sure, we trade beat for the Dragon. Maybe I want that Coalescence back if I'm Kamani. But otherwise, we're pushing in, and we're at our final 40 seconds. What can Atlanta get done?
Honestly, ideally, I want a fast rush. Try to get Doge up closer to finishing off that grab percentage.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to watch out and respect the Brahmatra ult, but it's not gonna matter when Laggy already takes out Light.
Yeah, Laggy takes out Light. Tank Doggo commits the Kitsune rush in, try and get something done, try and get her team towards point. Doge building up energy. Grab the Ramatra.
The grab was smart, trying to keep Ramatra isolated, but it's not going to be enough as the other picks come in.
Yeah.
Cool, able to touch, but they have no shot. They 1v5.
Yeah. Cool on point to trigger OT, and unfortunately not enough. Ottawa wins, goes up 2-0 in the series.
And this is where, if you're Atlanta or Atlanta fans, you start sweating. So far, it has looked kind of Ottawa-centric, right? I mean, Ottawa has really been in the driver's seat of a lot of these fights. I think the only time it really looked close was, you could argue, the first point in Nepal, but even then, that was just one prolonged fight where Atlanta was able to sneak in the cap of the point. But Ottawa firmly in control of this match. Atlanta gonna have to pull out something, and that something's gonna have to be either Suravasa or New Junk City. Zach, where do you think we go?
As much as it's kind of like the obvious answer, I think you do go to Suravasa. It's probably the map that you're more comfortable on. Just kidding, I'll eat my words. We're going to New Junk City.
Yeah, take that, Zach.
Yeah. I'll eat my words.
That's wild.
What's
up, Chris? Honestly, I would have agreed with you, though. I think Suravasa is the right pick. I think a lot of the Emerald teams have been taking us to New Junk City recently. I'm not sure if that's like a preferred thing in scrims. I'm not sure if that's a preferred team preference. But New Junk City is going to be what we call home for this third and potentially final map for Atlanta, not only in this series, but in this season.
Yeah, when Atlanta has the space, when they have the objective, and they can hold on to it, you open up opportunities for Cool and for Doge to get those picks and get that potential. When Atlanta has had to press in to make the space, that's where they've looked weak, and that's where Ottawa has been able to just firmly hold in control. And unfortunately, Flashpoint, there's one thing that's common on Flashpoint, it's fast rotations, something Atlanta has not really shown a proficiency on.
Honestly, if you're Atlanta, you think, hey, listen, we are down in the series. We still have a chance. This is the time where you throw everything at the wall and just see what sticks. This is where you start pulling out the Mago, Lucio, Moira, whatever. Just pull out characters. See what happens.
Throw it to the wall. Throw all the spaghetti to the wall and see if something sticks. I do like this though. Tank Doggo pulling out the Mercy, Cool back on the Hanzo. That was the one thing that was consistently getting them picks and finding them openings. Ooh. So why not Blue Beam?
Kamani and Laggy already very low.
Yeah. Cool. Speak of the devil, get 2.
Ooh, speak of the devil.
Yeah. Chris trades back onto the Hanzo, but Tank Doggo with probably the easiest res of their lives, picking Cool back up, and Atlanta first control on New Junk.
All right, that's going to be pretty important, as we all know these Flashpoint maps start to tick up fast. I will say, I think Ottawa's having a little. Oh my God, yep. Laggy was standing still.
Oh, come on. The Laggy.
I think Ottawa's having a little bit of fun as they pick. Yeah. There we go. They were on the Junkrat for a little bit, pretty viable, but like probably not what you see typically, especially against the other DPS on Atlanta.
Yeah, like you use the Junkrat to like help chunk down Dogmeister on the Orisa, but otherwise they're probably better heroes you can pick. I do like Laggy saying, "All right, Cool, you've had enough fun,
and you're gonna have more fun."
Yeah, at least trying to match and mirror the Hanzo. I do like that out of him.
Where is the dragon again? Honestly, Cool, great aim. The dragons leave something to be desired. Dragon. Jeez, Cool actually is just kind of going in, securing all these picks.
Honestly, if you're getting picks like that every single fight, I do not blame Cool at all for throwing the dragon out. and seeing if they can zone anything. Round 1
And that's
going to Atlanta.
4-1.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's the issue with some of these dragons is that they haven't been zoning people. They're behind the entire team. You're not splitting anybody off. You're not causing any damage to anybody. So the dragon is there for aesthetics while Cool is actively just taking headshots and pumping in damage. We're going to see a Maga come out from Ottawa to maybe try to help deal with this Orisa a little bit more. But
Maybe.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I'll tell you how I feel as the tank player. I will take the Orisa 9 times out of 10 against the Maga. Plain and simple. But Frosty
I'll take
finds
the Frosty over the Creepy.
Yeah, and Cool responds, picks off Laggy. Rez comes off to
Monty
bring
does
Creep
have
back.
the Coalescence. Doge spears the Coalescence.
Oh.
Cool finds some kills. Atlanta is starting to pick up momentum now.
Yeah. Exactly. Huge... Ah. Words. Brain no work. I play
English
Overwatch.
is hard.
Yeah.
Laggy is now over to Genji. You know, Ottawa, I think, had their fun, now realizing, like, alright, well, hold on, we still got a map
Yeah.
to play.
Yeah, like, okay, Atlanta's showing a little bit more fight. It's time to finish the job. The only team we have dropped maps to so far has been Dallas, and if we want to show we mean business going to playoffs, no more time to creep around. Huge flock Terra Surge right into Dragon Strike.
But it's an expensive fight. That's Terra Surge, Dragon, and Coalescence. Only
Yeah.
really keeping the Visor and the Valk left. They do invest beat, so, you know, you get something out of it. You're gonna reset, so there will no be Cage. There
Yeah.
will no be Cage. Yep. What's
There
up?
there will no be Cage. Maybe I want that Coalescence back if I'm creep, but you know what? If I have to throw 3 ults in order to make sure I guarantee that flashpoint, with how the series has been going, you know, screw it. We
You take
throw
it.
3 ults.
You take it.
We take it. We're going to our 3rd flashpoint map. Chris trying to find an answer to the Doja Orisa, and thinking maybe Monkey might be it.
I mean, this is the dive comp that we have seen from them. Frosty not on the Tracer necessarily, but this is a very comfortable comp for Ottawa. So we're going to have to see if Atlanta can get anything, especially with all the space provided by Ottawa and their off angles.
Yeah.
Chris trying to dive in. Doge goes down.
Yeah, Doge goes down. Mercy with the res. Does get the res off to bring Doge back.
Oh.
And Laggy. Is that deflect arrow back into the Hanzo? Deflect back into the Hanzo? Not sure, but Ottawa.
No, it would say if it was. But I want to talk crucially here about what happened towards the end of that fight. Okay, we're gonna talk about that in a second. Laggy pulls out the BM blade.
Yeah, okay.
But what happens at the end of that fight is Doge gets picked off first. Tank successfully gets the res off. Cool ints a little bit.
Yeah.
Tank gets the res off and does not pop Valk. If you pop Valk there, you have so much more sustain, especially with your team playing that close together. Everybody's getting that healing stream from Mercy, but they don't pull the ult. The story of Atlanta never clicking Q continues.
Yeah, and Ottawa stuffing the choke. You win. Light quickly picks off Laggy with the.
But can
they
anybody
touch?
even touch if you
No,
are
they-
Atlanta? I
no.
don't think so.
Yeah.
So even that pick goes by the wayside.
Yeah, I do definitely agree with you though, Soup Can. Tank Doggo still holding on to this Valkyrie. What's better than group sustain, group heal beam, group blue beam? That could have very easily ended the fight and ended the map for Atlanta. But we are going to round 4. And maybe the Chris Monkey is the answer that Ottawa needs in order to put down Atlanta once and for all.
Light is for sure gonna die as Laggy and Chris both dive in. Light actually manages to find a way out.
Yep.
Here comes more ults. Light does go down.
Yeah, Light goes down. Frosty with the nice 2k with the overclock. Chris forced to use the Primal Rage after getting brought into the Doge Terra Surge, but you'll take that. You'll take that if you're Ottawa. And
We'll also see a hog come out from Doge. I could be down for some hog gameplay.
Oh.
What I can't be... Okay?
We have a Winton on point.
Well,
Winton.
that's a...
Winton Overwatch.
I mean, yeah, Winton Overwatch. We also have an Ulton spawn by misclick. Overwatch from pulling out Visor by accident. But we also don't see any ults come out from Atlanta. They're holding on way too long. And now there's, realistically one fight left as Ottawa's still racking up this point percentage.
Yep. Oh, nice! Nice hook from Dojemeister to get Kamani, and they finally pick and open up.
And they found two. Crucially, that's only one ult. Ottawa looking to commit still here, pulling in the beat.
Yeah, 3-man beat.
And they force out Dragon.
Yeah.
I don't know if you really want that if you're cool. You're able to win this fight, but you need the ults. All they have to do is come back, pull out this blade, pull out this overclock, and it's done. Pulling out the Dragon, where again, you crucially could have separated this team off. You want that back. Maybe Tank will finally press Valk and sustain through one ult, but I doubt that 3 coming on at once will be enough.
Yeah, but critically, Atlanta do hold control of the point. They do have control of the choke. Now Ottawa has to push into them. And this is where we've seen Atlanta enter strong.
Doge, but I think he had to reload.
Oh, 2 ults, and immediately Frosty finds Tank Doggo.
Valk.
Yep, Valk off the table.
We're gonna see Ottawa take it to round 3 on New Junk City. And Atlanta is just struggling. What felt like a firm grasp of this map is slipping away just like their playoffs hope as the last point of Suravasa will unlock in 25 seconds.
Yeah, if I'm Atlanta, I want to know, what is Tank Doggo holding on to the Valkyrie for? We could very easily... Valkyrie, tempo ultimate. Just use it for one fight. Yeah. Use it for one... Yeah. Use it for one fight. Get something in. Poking up into the choke, but the Kamani Moira just able to throw an orb or keep the heal resource on them. Chris gets angry, but quickly...
A Valk there, we've been screaming it. Use Valk, use Valk, use Valk. I don't know if that was it. I think 30 seconds beforehand was it. Doge trying to use the whole hog to really stop that Primal Winston. But I want to comment, I love Ottawa's spacing. They were able to get to the point first, so they were able to take that high ground and just force Atlanta into that choke because they have seen and know how passive Atlanta's been playing. They are stuck walking into a brick wall over and over again because Ottawa is commanding so much space in front of them.
Exactly. Ottawa holds on to the space and force Atlanta to poke into it. Drag it out to help zone, but what can they get done? Light popping the National, doesn't find anyone, and Laggy with the blade. What can he get done?
3 ults from both sides, but so far none have been efficient, except now with one fight left. Ottawa's looking to clean up the map, clean up the series, and clean up Atlanta from playoffs as Ottawa will take the series 3-0, knocking Atlanta out and pushing New Orleans into the postseason.
Yeah, that is... If you are Knock, you are thanking Ottawa for getting the job done and putting down Atlanta. But if you are Atlanta, again, you said it in the cast multiple times, so hesitant to use ultimates, so hesitant to press Q, waiting for ideal times.
The swap. No composition swaps. You saw how quickly and willing Ottawa was able to say, hey, listen, this isn't working, let's change right now. Let's go with something new. And there was nothing from Atlanta.
Yeah, it's... Whenever Ottawa would find... Sure, we saw a little bit Ottawa trying to find the answer in that map, and it looked promising, but as soon as... as soon as we finally found that answer, just Nothing. We'll hold on to all of our cues. We'll play so passively because we're trying to set up for the individual plays when it's not always going to happen. It's not always going to be clean and fall right into your hands. You can't always just rely on Cool to find three with the Hanzo picks. You have to engage. You have to do something in order to push in and put some pressure onto Ottawa.
I mean, Atlanta throughout this season had their bright spots, but I think going into postseason, these players are going to be able to take a break, come back next season, maybe be able to expand a little bit. But I think there were, like I said, some very bright spots on that team. They Poole had phenomenal plays. I think Doge has been one of the stronger tanks in this league for a little bit now. And I think that's just something that maybe these players need to work on is just a little bit more synergy. It felt like at times Doge was going in, trying to be a little bit more aggressive, but the team had that backline because maybe they were playing a little bit more poke. At the end of the day, Atlanta ended up with a 3-4 record, which is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah.
And all the players were, pretty great. So power to Atlanta. Thank you all for a great season. But looking at Emerald, Ottawa is surging ahead into the postseason. And now we'll have to play New Orleans, the team they just let in. And boy, do they look scary.
If I'm Ottawa, we did the job. We secured the win, but I'm looking at New Orleans and I'm a little terrified because Kioi Alpha when we first played them, we were not expecting them to come out and just start wrecking house on us. But Kioi and Alpha really are the real deal. What can the DPS line from Ottawa do in order to shut them down?
Honestly, that's going to be something we'll have to wait and see. But for now, we are probably going to head out. Thank you all for coming in and watching these games. There are more games to come tomorrow, I believe, will be the Pittsburgh Phantoms going against the Halifax Lances. So if you can, try to tune in because that's got some big playoff potential as well. Otherwise, I think that'll be it for us tonight. Signing out. Have a good night.
I'm stuck inside